Neighborhood Watch is a program that for Cupertino started back in the 1970s, or actually early 80s. It started in Los Angeles in the 1970s, but in Cupertino in the early 80s with the Sheriff's Department. And our beat deputies actually would conduct these for us. And I don't know what that is, so I'm going to apologize for that very annoying noise now. The only thing I can think of is Stephanie normally does these presentations after dinner, and so she might want to try to get people's attention by having some noise associated with her PowerPoint, but I will definitely talk to her about that tomorrow when I see her. Neighborhood Watch, to me, is a lot like our Citizen Corps. They're an extension of our public safety so that if there is something suspicious going on in the neighborhood, just like with Citizen Corps, if there was something that was going on with emergency preparedness, we know that the sheriff may not be able to be there right away or the fire department, and so our citizens are really our eyes and ears on that neighborhood or on that mall, and the sooner they tell us something's going on, then we can have those first responders respond. So what's Neighborhood Watch? Simply, it's a community working together and looking out for each other, and it supplements police services, and it makes us all more aware of our surroundings. So when you're going to your car at Valco, you can kind of make sure that you're safe or that you have your keys out, or if there's somebody that you don't know that's hovering around your car, you know to listen to that gut and go the other way and maybe call 911 or even a better number that we'll give you in a minute. I'm so sorry. So Neighborhood Watch goals. Reduce the likelihood of property crimes, bring citizens and law enforcement into a cooperative partnership, and promote a spirit of community within the neighborhood. Again, you're the eyes and ears of the officer, and a lot of times too, with Cupertino having over 57 languages in our community, some cultures don't know that that policeman is your friend. So by having a really strong Neighborhood Watch program, Stephanie and a deputy sheriff will go out to your neighborhood in a very calm setting. It might be in the local park, it might be in a neighbor's home, and explain to you just what this is all about and how you can contribute to keeping crime down in your neighborhood. So what should you look for? If there's suspicious vehicles or persons that you don't know in the neighborhood, don't assume that they belong there. We actually caught some burglars within the last 2 weeks because the neighbor was quite aware and noticed there was a suspicious car sitting in the neighborhood and actually called the sheriff's department and said, this person just doesn't look right. And sure enough, the group had gone through an unlocked gate and was trying to rob one of the residents, and 2 of the 3 victims were caught, which was great, after which the crime went down substantially in that neighborhood. So a really good success story, just because a citizen saw something that looked a little unusual, took the time to dial 911 or the direct line into County Comm. And I want to let people know you're not bothering us by doing that. We would rather be proactive and catch the guys or the gals, or at least know that that presence is in your neighborhood watching out for you, than to not have you tell us about it. And then we still have to come out to the neighborhood, but in a totally different venue that isn't a happy situation for the resident. If you see undocumented door-to-door solicitors, all of our solicitors have to go through code enforcement and get these nice little badges, except theirs doesn't say they work for City of Cupertino, it says that they're soliciting. And if you don't have that, then you might want to be a little more cognizant of who you open your door to. And unknown persons entering backyards and side gates. We all have seen gardeners or maids come to the front door, but if there's somebody that just doesn't look right in your neighborhood, it would be really appreciated if you call, especially if they're about to rob your neighbor's house and you've just helped prevent that. Okay, here comes the noise. Okay, so what should you look for? Front doors, side gates, garage doors, or car doors that are standing open. Anything else that makes you feel uneasy. And who should you call? You call the police. So you can call 911, and a dispatcher can identify the location of your call. But even better than that, because the 911 calls go up to the CHP in Vallejo, we are recommending that you pre-program your cell phone. And if you're in the audience now, whip out that phone and put this in right now if you could. 408-299-2311. That'll take you directly to Santa Clara County COM, and that officer will respond faster than if you just dialed 911. And for those of you that have ever had to dial 911, sometimes there is a wait, and so this will get you into County COM a lot faster.
Can I ask a dumb question?
I'm sorry.
Can I ask a dumb question?
There's no dumb questions.
If instead of being routed to Vallejo, dialing 911 here routed us to Santa Clara County Communications, wouldn't that be more appropriate?
It would, and I will follow up with the sheriff to see if that's a possibility.
I mean, do we know how it came to be this way?
It looks like your city manager knows.
Yeah, because when you dial on a cell phone, all 911 calls get routed to CHP.
Oh, I see. So if I call from a landline.
You'll get the local county dispatch, but if you call from a cell phone, you'll get CHP.
I see. It's just, yeah, cell phones don't know geographic places well or something.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you, David. So residential burglaries, there are over 6 million homes burglarized every year in the United States, so don't think that's Cupertino, please. Nearly half of those are homes with unlocked doors and windows, so we could reduce that statistic substantially if we just remember to lock the door when we leave. So if you're going out even just for a minute, lock your doors and windows. Don't hide your door key under the mat or in the flower pot next to the front door. That's probably where they're first going to look. So if you have to have somebody have your key, you might want to leave it with a trusted neighbor, so that if you ever lock yourself out of the house, you know who to go contact. And as far as home security, don't leave open doors. I know some people have pet doors. You can close those. Your doors should have a solid core, and they should have good, solid metal deadbolt lots. And peepholes, you should be able to see out of them. So for those people that are short like me, if you're moving into a new house and that's a little too high for you, you might want to have it readjusted so you can see out the front door. Okay. Alrighty, for windows, you can have auxiliary locks to bolster security. Close and lock your windows by sleeping. If you can, at least your downstairs windows. If you have a two-story, I understand it's nice to air out the house and get some fresh air. And they recommend to close the bathroom window after showering. These are areas where burglars like to come in through. And then keep your garage closed unless you're actually in it. Tools can be a real draw for some burglaries because they can resell those and get some good money for them. So anything of value, don't just have out in your house for people to see. You want to keep your gates locked. Keep plants well trimmed, and for those of you, if you can, have motion detector lights. It really helps, or turn your lights on at night by your front door. A lot of times when people go away on vacation, it's suggested that you use timers inside so it looks like someone's home. So there's little things that you can do that will keep your home safe and you safe. If you're going on vacation, it's really easy to get online or go to the post office and stop your mail. You can tell them how you want it delivered when you get back, and for how long. You can contact the sheriffs and ask them to do a vacation patrol check. They'll actually go by your home and check out your house and make sure it looks like it's safe and secure and there's no one around that is peeping through your windows. You can also email Stephanie, she's our neighborhood watch coordinator, at the website listed here. And then we always like to tell our neighbors so they can kind of keep an eye on our place. Alarms can be an effective deterrent. There's a lot of different types, but something to consider. As well as property identification. You can engrave your identification on very valuable items. And if you want to check out an engraving tool, we actually have one at Code Enforcement, so you don't have to run down and buy it. And a lot of people, I know for insurance purposes, sometimes take pictures or video valuables in your house, and then you keep it someplace safe, so in case your house is burglarized, you got some information for your insurance company and for the sheriff. Vehicle security, a lot of our crimes are vehicles getting broken into because a lot of us leave our cell phones and our iPads and other valuables on our seats, and then we run into a store and we think everything will be fine. But that makes for a really easy target, so please, if you're in a store, even take your cell phone charger out of the lighter. Thank you. I don't smoke, obviously, right? And you know, because that's just going to tell people that you do own a cell phone and maybe it's in your car someplace and you forgot to take it with you. So anything valuable, put in your trunk or put it in your purse, close your purse. We just had a posting on my next door neighborhood site that said the woman got her wallet stolen, but her purse was wide open in the grocery cart. So just make sure that everything's locked so it's harder for people to take things. Yeah, you don't want to do anything that's going to entice a burglar, so just think smart. If you do own guns, you want to lock them up and keep them away from the kids. And the Sheriff's Department recommends an alternative would be pepper spray, sorry. Okay, so be an aware neighbor. They know what's going on in your neighborhood. You guys all know what's going on in your neighborhood. I know when my neighbor leaves in the morning, comes back. I know when they're on vacation because their lights look weird. And I know like what car normally isn't parked in the middle of the driveway when they're home. So just be aware that if you see something that looks unusual, please call. Communicate if there's a problem. And get to know your child's friends. Know the names and addresses and phone numbers in case you would have to use them. And it's better safe than sorry, so call 911 or your local number. We also have two things that you might want to use to connect to your neighbors. One's called ECAP. We just sent out an emergency notice today on ECAP. We have a missing 17-year-old from Monte Vista High School, so it was a way that we were sending out that notice to people that want to get crime information reports from the city when there's problems in the neighborhood or in their area. If you aren't catching this as I'm going through the slides, you can catch me after, and I'll be happy to give you this information on how to sign up. You can also sign up on Nextdoor, and a lot of you have. There's over 4,500 people that are using Nextdoor, and it's a nice way also. We sent the same notification out today on Nextdoor in case anyone sees our 17-year-old that's missing. So basically, be smart, be safe, take the extra time to lock your car, put your valuables away, lock your house. But if you know your neighbors and you can watch out for things, being proactive will really go a long way to reduce our crime statistics in Cupertino, which are actually very good, but also your stress and unfortunate losses that might happen if your house was targeted by a burglar.